Today, I want to talk about history of marriage because I'm passionate about marriages. I know that is weird because everybody gets divorced today, but I think it's a very interesting aspect of our life. So for today, just for you, I want to put together something that was special, something that you can go home and think about, something weird, sometimes naughty, but we will go through different phases, okay? We will travel around all the world. We see places and tribes and ways to get married. Then we will see in Roman time how in Roman time the marriage was working. Then we see a couple of paintings from the Florence in Middle Age. We will understand the first time that actually the ring became important. And today, we'll talk a little bit about the last 100 years in Australia. Do you like it? Yes. Okay, let's start. How many of you knows how is defined a married couple in Australia? Okay, now, a marriage, according to law in Australia, is the union of two people to the exclusion of all others, voluntarily entered into for life. So before this is the last piece of legislation is being changed in 2017 after the Same-Sex Marriage Act. Before this is the union of a man and a woman. Okay, so we step up, and we actually are between the 26 countries that actually recognize same-sex couple. I'm very proud to be here in this such an open-minded country. In Italy, we don't have this still waiting. Sadly, the church put a lot of opposition in that, but we don't talk about this today. Otherwise, we get in trouble. But is everywhere the same? No. Of course, in Western countries, is plus or less in this way. Is two people entering a marriage, they have an agreement, they go in church, they go to the council, they get married, and this is a couple. But there's 58 countries around the world, in Asia, in Africa, East Asia, in some part in South America, where polygamy is allowed. There is two types of polygamy. Polygamy is the man that marry a lot of women, and polygyny is the woman that marry a lot of men. Now, the second is very rare. Yeah. There is only one place where actually you can find this kind of marriages, and is a small tribe in Nepal. Okay? But they try to eradicate this old way to see things and westernize more these tribes. It's very, very difficult. Anyway, I want to talk about now how some tribes around the world see the marriage. We will travel to Venezuela. In Venezuela, there is a tribe that counts around between 8,000 and 9,000 people. They're called Bari people of Venezuela. The Bari people is one of the ancient tribe in South America. They are there from forever. And actually, there is books and papers they were talking, when the Spanish arrived in South America, they were talking about the Bari people. So they have a very long tradition in marriage. And how it works? It works that the family, the two family of the boy and the girl, they set the marriage. They decide to marry. The girl usually is ready to marry about 13, 14 years old. Okay? Now, this is a thing that they do because anyway, they don't have all the knowledge that we have today. So they must make sure that the girls is young enough to procreate, to give birth. But the funny thing here is that they got married. Their husband will remain the first husband. Then the lady is allowed to have multiple partners. For the simple reason that they believe is that a woman to become pregnant needs a lot of intimacy. And only one man cannot do all the job. So, because he needs to work, it's tired sometimes, maybe at the bar, you know. But in this way, if the husband, for example, when the baby is born, the baby will be the baby of the first husband and the wife. If the first husband dies, the other people to have intimate relationship with the lady will step up and will take care of the baby. But actually, the baby will be taken care from all the village. Okay, is a good way for them to procreate and to keep inside the tribe and to make sure that they actually have a progeny. Otherwise, they're going to extinct. It looks like that in the last 300 years, 70% of this tribe have been wiped out. So there is still only 8,000, 9,000 people in north of Venezuela. Now, let's go to North America. North America, there is a tribe that is very popular because it's bigger, and you heard a lot of things about them. It's a population that counts between 200,000 and 300,000 people, and it's called Inuit people. Inuit people that we called Eskimo. The Eskimo, there is a beautiful documentary on YouTube, you can find it. And they have a very similar way to get married as the Bari people, because their marriage is organized by the family. They have just different business paper to put down. But the two families, they organize who married who. And here again, the age of marriage is very young. 13, 14 years old already. And what happened, once they are married, they are very free. The couple can swap. They can exchange a partner. Actually, is allowed from the husband can ask to the friend to stay with the wife. It's very normal. It's very accepted. In both of these languages, their languages, there is no word as jealousy or betrayed or anything that we think is normal. Okay? Here again, the Eskimo people, they are starting to get more westernized because there is the influence of Canada and US. So slowly, they will get close to the way that we do. But still, they have this kind of marriages. Okay? Now, let's travel to Africa. Yeah? We go in Africa. In Africa, there is a tribe that is one of the oldest tribes in Africa. And it's called the Ovazimba tribe in Namibia. Ovazimba tribe is around 50,000 people. And here again, they get married very, very early. 14, 15 years old, they're ready. And the family decide to arrange the marriage, very similar to the other one. And here they have a slightly different way to do it. Because, first, why I want to talk about this? Because the way that we think is right in some other place in the world is not right. Is not the way to go. So it's very important, I believe, understand what's going on and why they do what they do. Now we have hospitals, we have everything that we need to do in this way. But in these countries, they don't have this money, they don't have the hospital, they don't have the nurses, the help. Anyway, the Ovazimba tribe is a very well-respected tribe. And when they get married, is allowed for the husband, if someone comes from outside the tribe, is allowed for the husband to give to the wife, to the newcomers. And they will sleep together all night long. And in this way, is a good way for them to do this, because they solidify the friendship, they make business, and they open the house to the newcomers. Again, they got married very early for the simple reason that they need to procreate very quick. And of course, more kids they have, more probability they have boys, and the boys can help more in the hard work. Okay? So, now you can see that between this tribe in Africa, the tribe in North America, and the tribe in South America, 3 different continents, very similar way to see a marriage. Now, let's go in China. China is another place that is very interesting. We talk about the ghost marriage of China. How many knows about the ghost marriage? Okay. The ghost marriage is a tradition that has been started 3,000 years ago. Just before the first marriage, they believed that the spirit of someone that is dead alone, it cannot fly in the universe alone. So what they did? They will take 2 corpses, 2 people dead, and marry them. So in this way, the soul of the spirit of this person, these 2 people, they will stay together forever. Okay? It seems romantic, a little bit strange, romantic. The problem is, after a few years, this kind of marriage came along very useful, especially for women, because at the time, women weren't allowed to handle a piece of land. For example, if the woman was the only daughter of someone who had a piece of land, she could have the piece of land on her name. The problem is, as soon as she going to get married, the land was the husband's land. So in this way, especially the rich people, the rich woman, would marry someone that is dead. So the piece of land would be the dead person, but she would take care of it. Recently, the China government decided to ban this. I think it was in '83. They banned this type of marriage. The problem is, for them, it's very difficult to eradicate these things, because it's so inside the culture that it's very difficult to take it away. In 2017, a couple of guys in north of China been arrested because they were going to dig in a cemetery, bring out the corpse and sell the corpse for the people to marry other. And it's very lucrative business, because for every corpse can be paid between $4,000 and $7,000. It's big money for them. So these 2 people, they end in jail. So this is the 4 places. Then there is others. The ghost marriage is present in some part of Africa, like Ethiopia, like South Sudan. And they have these things. For example, in Sri Lanka, there is a tribe. There's a group of people. They decide if someone is married with someone else, because if the woman cooks for 3 times for the same man, they will be married. So that, as soon as the woman stops to cook for this man, they'll be divorced. Easy. Now, when was the first marriage in history? The first marriage in history was in Mesopotamia, was recorded in Mesopotamia 2350 BC. So 4,500, 5,000 years ago. Okay, Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is the part of the world that go from Iraq, part of Syria, and down all this part here. But Mesopotamia in Greek means between the rivers. So the peaceful land between the Tigris and the Euphrates. So at this point, marriages were a business relation. So usually the father of the family, the boss of the family, would give away the daughters because the women were disposable at this time. Will give the women to married, to maybe make friendship with a tribe, they have a war, to gain powers, to gain money, to make friendship, or just to procreate more kids to work the land. Okay? Was nothing romantic. Love is something that is very recent, if you look at the history of marriages, and is only 250 years old. Okay? But what they were thinking in ancient time about love. Of course, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Okay? In India, ancient India, they believe that the marriage was destructive and anti-social act. You'll be cuckoo crazy. In Greece, the ancient Greece, they believed that being in love with someone was an attack of insanity. Sometimes, yeah. Well, what about in France in the Middle Age? In France in the Middle Age, they believed that was a derangement of the mind curable only with a lot of intimate time with the loved one or with someone else. So, have fun. Have fun. Don't think about, have fun. This is what has always been for centuries. As I say, couples start to get married for love 250 years ago, when the Queen Victoria, we will see later, the Queen Victoria married Albert with a white dress and all the rest. It was the first well-known and mainstream marriage in history. Mainstream means the paper we're talking about. Now, let's talk about the Romans. This is Claudia. Claudia is 15 years old, and she's ready to get married. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm going to ask to the father of Claudia her hand? So it's normal for us that a boy, a man, go to the father to ask the permission to marry the daughter. It's a beautiful thing to do. It's respectful. It's respectful for the father and for the family. At this time was completely different. Was nothing respectful. Was everything about business. Because, for example, the hand in Italians means mano. Mano comes from the Latin manu. But manu don't have yes, it's a manu, but manu was a property. So they were asking, the guy was asking to give the property of the daughter to the husband. In Roman time, and almost all over time in history, women were second-class citizens, disposable and used for business. Doesn't matter what they could be. Then, of course, there is a lot of queens, a lot of rich women that they did very good things, very powerful. But majority of the people, the normal class, women were disposable. Now, The future husband, Claudia's husband, went to the father and asked to get married. In Rome, they used to have two types of marriages. One is called cum manu and sine manu. So cum manu was with the property of the daughter, and sine manu was without the property of the woman. It was a business exchange. It was just to tie the two families. What is the difference between the first and the second? Cum manu, the husband could do everything he wanted about the wife. Sine manu, he couldn't. For example, if Claudia would rebel against the husband, he couldn't kill her. He would have to go to the father, and the father decide what to do with the daughter. Just an example, okay? So it was very harsh for them. And usually the future husband was double age, or maybe older like the father, okay? He again was because they needed to procreate a lot of people. Now, let's have a look at something funnier. The bride dress. How many of you know the name of the dress of the bride? They used to wear this tunic. White tunic was made especially for this type of marriage. And the tunic was called regilla. It was very important, regilla, because this type of tunic was, they believed that was a good luck dress to put on to the future wife. They used to have a veil to put on their face called flamemmum. You see the veil? The veil we use to have today as well. And the belt. The belt is important because it's called gingillum, because the belt was connected with the node of Heracles. The node of Heracles is important because they believed that Heracles had more than 70 kids in his life, with a lot of partners, male and female. Hercules was very, very active. So in this way, they believe this belt would help, was a good luck for Claudia in this case to generate kids. Okay. Now what they did, as soon as they were ready, they would walk in the middle of the room, and they would sign a paper. The sign of the paper was just put a symbol, a mark on the note with all the business things on this paper. Was nothing romantic, okay? Then what happened? A lady that was being chosen because was married only once. Remember that the Romans could divorce very often. It's one of the periods in history where there is more divorce than today, actually. So what happened? This lady that married only once would take Claudia, help her to reach the future husband. She never met her. Maybe she met him once or twice when she was a little girl. Okay? So as soon they affront each other, the man put the hand in this way and Claudia on top, in sign of surrender. They would shake it. And the marriage was done. That's it. Now, at this point, the party starts. The party starts, and there is a lot of food, a lot of wine, a lot of talking. Here, at the end of the ceremony, at the party, the husband will walk at home. And the friend of the husband, little after, would kidnap Claudia and take Claudia in her new home. Now, the kidnapping thing is something that, something that comes from the rape of the Sabine woman. The rape of the Sabine woman, it happened at the beginning of the Roman Empire, when Romulus created Rome, settled Rome for the first time. The problem is the Romans didn't have enough women to procreate. So what they did, they went around and asked the village around the town if they could give some of the women. And they say no. They make a trick. They called a big party, and this tribe came for the party because the purpose was to befriend. At the end of the night, when all the men were drunk, the Roman kidnapped the lady and raped them. So with the rape, they were able to have kids and start from the emperor. So for them, for the Romans, doing this was a sign of good luck for the future. I know that is a bit weird, but hey, is what it is. So now we see another things that we do today again. How many of you, after married, the husband pick up the wife and bring inside the house? Yeah. So remember, the husband walk at home. The friend kidnap the poor Claudia, take in a new house. The husband would pick her up and take inside because it was a bad luck for her walk on the step door. Okay? And this is the tradition that we have today. Anyway, the kidnapping thing is present today, still present today, in countries like Romania, Kyrgyzstan, south of Russia, part of China, India. In some places around the world, still they ain't doing this. Okay? Maybe the way are different. The problem is in Kyrgyzstan, for example, I read a couple of weeks ago in Kyrgyzstan, a couple of women have been kidnapped to get married. They didn't want it, and then being killed. So they try to stop this thing, but again, it's so eradicated in a culture that sometimes it's difficult to stop them. Okay? So this is what happened in Roman time. Sadly, this is a beautiful painting anyway. Sadly, the night came for Claudia. Remember that the husband is maybe 40 years old, and the first night is not really nice for her. Would be rough. Okay, now let's talk about Florence, in Middle Age Florence. Everybody thinks that Florence, Middle Age time is the Dark Age. Actually, the Middle Age time is one of the funniest periods in history, especially for relationship. Because the church, for 1,000 years, didn't care about weddings. Was something that was only for people from poor people, because used to have party, drinks, people get drunk, a lot of intimate things could happen, and for 1,000 years until 13th century, the Pope didn't care about that. They were very free. The priest could get married. The priest could have a mistress. There is in 10th century AC, there is a story of the main priest in Paris that was being called by the Pope, and the Pope asked them, "You should ask all the priests to stop to get married." So all married only once. So he organized this meeting, and as soon he said, "You should stop to get married," the legend said that this archivescof, the archivescof, and seeing the archivescof run out from the church followed by the priest that want to kill him. So they were very, very free, more free than we think today. Why this painting is important? Because here we see for the first time a ring, here. How they got married here? In Florence, again, girls would marry very early, 15 years old. For all the history, plus or less, is in this way. And the two family would decide in what way get married. Okay, was a business thing. So this couple here is the father of this lady. Okay, this guy here is the lawyer. See, the lawyer write down the condition of the marriage. This lady, they don't have the money. So what happened? The people at the back are called buon uomini. Buon uomini means a group of good people. This group of people, they is like a group of people like you guys that will put together some money to pay the marriage debt. If you see the man with the red hat, put the money in the hand of the boy, and the boy put the ring in the left hand of the woman. Right hand, yes.